Are you ready to transform your online presence into a magnetic force? Today, we are stepping into the vibrant world of bold, sassy, and uniquely designed websites. We're going to be answering the question, how can a personality packed website be the secret sauce to turning casual visitors into raving fans? Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Jen Vasquez, and I help hyper busy female service providers to use Pinterest to book more clients and increase their income and impact. On this podcast, I also host experts about all things marketing. So if you are looking to learn marketing, you're in the right place. And we would love for you to subscribe to the podcast or YouTube channel wherever you are watching or listening from. Today, I'm so excited to be chatting with Katelyn Dekle of Launch the Damn Thing. Fed up with building someone else's dream in one toxic environment after another, getting shit for pay and no benefits, Katelyn Dekle was tired of living check to check. After years of side hustling, she finally took the leap into running her own business full-time mid-pandemic in 2020. She's the CEO, Squarespace web designer, and educator of Launch the Damn Thing, cranking out personality-driven designs for truly wonderful people. Her passion is helping people find success in the online space by sharing the tools and expertise she gained since she started side hustling in 2015. Welcome, Katelyn.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, well, I start with this question for everyone. Can you share more about your journey from toxic work environment to becoming a CEO of Launch the Damn Thing, and kind of what that windy route was? Because it's always different for everyone and there's some similarities for everyone. So I always find it really intriguing.
Yeah, winding is very appropriate, I would say, for probably most entrepreneurs.
Exactly correct.
Yeah. So I side hustled for 5 years before I quit, and I was miserable for all of those years. I was tired of doing the work. The clients were not fun. The pay was terrible. Benefits was non-existent. And I got tired of living that dream. It was not really a dream. As my husband used to say, it was something like, I'm living the dream if your dreams are nightmares. That's what he says.
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
No, that's what it felt like. The people were fine, but the environment felt toxic to a creative because they just didn't understand how anything worked. So 5 years, I was like going full steam trying to build this thing so that I could quit. I'm a risk averse person, despite what you may believe about my brand personality. But I took a furlough mid-pandemic. As it happens, prior to that furlough, I had told the owner that I was burnt out on that particular type of work and I wanted to phase myself out slowly. And then the pandemic hit and work slowed down. And he was like, well, you kind of wanted a break, so maybe you take a sabbatical. And I was like, let's call it a furlough and I will never see you again. And
Honesty
that's
is
what
the
happened.
best policy.
Yeah. So I was officially full-time off unemployment within 6 months of taking that furlough. Yeah.
Amazing. You are known for and by the way, everyone should visit her website. The links, everything will be below to be able to like get in touch with her. But you are really known for creating personality packed websites. What strategies do you use to infuse the unique essence of your clients into their web designs?
It's really kind of hard to describe, but ultimately I ask a lot of questions. So the more I can learn about them, how they act, what books they like, what drinks they want, like what stores they frequent, what kind of clients they want to attract, all of the things, I just kind of naturally am able to pull that into something that represents them, but like on the page.
Yeah, I mean, your personality like completely shines through your website. Like, I feel like I know you and I can go, I don't drink coffee. I know that's sacrilegious for most people listening to the podcast. I'm a tea drinker. I have tried 80 million times over my 50 years to drink coffee, and I just don't like it. I don't care how much cream or caramel macchiato or whatever you put in it, it is a bitter taste to me. And so But I could see your personality through your website. It was magical. I haven't seen that really in a lot of ways. So,
Thank
congratulations.
you.
Because a lot of people that are good at doing that are good at doing that for other people, but they can't
Mhm.
necessarily extend it to themselves. When that's your job, right? How did you do it for yourself? It's kind of like me on my Pinterest. It's like it gets whatever leftover energy I have versus all my clients that get all of it.
True. I think that was actually trial and error because when I started side hustling in 2015, I was doing the professional studio vibe the way that I would have for a boss. And I was presenting the version of myself that would have been the employee. But I realized over time that that wasn't a good fit for me because I felt like I wasn't truly myself. And
And
if
you're
I
not
wanted to drop
attracting the ideal clients that you're looking for, right? Either.
exactly. I was attracting the kinds of clients that that company was getting when I worked there, and I didn't want to work with those people necessarily. So I
Yes.
figured out that if I was more myself, if I dropped an F bomb here or there or
Yeah.
whatever worked, it would attract the same kinds of people. And ultimately, I ended up attracting a lot of the kinds of people that are very similar to myself in many ways. So I
I
have
always
basically all
believe
dream
that
clients.
Yeah, I always believe that a website or your content or social media, like you could really put anything on it. But the more authentic you are, the more you attract those people that are naturally drawn to you. You don't have to work for it. You just have to be yourself. And so many people are worried about tiptoeing to that area. Can
Mhm.
you share memorable success story where a client's website transformation had a significant impact on their business or personal brand?
Yeah, and I know that this some eyes are gonna roll when I say the name of this brand, but I didn't come up with it, I promise. It was called Fred's Oral Prep, and I know how that sounds, and they know how
Nice.
that sounds. It is not even remotely close to what you think. It is educational training for crew members on super yachts. And the oral prep is oral preparatory work for the oral examinations they have to take in order to get certified for their career. So it's very dry, actually.
Very dry.
Yes, very
Although
dry.
I love the reality TV on the boats and things like that, so I can picture that in my head, but beyond that, it is pretty dry.
Yeah. So after we launched, within 12 hours of launching their new site, they had two new students and a crazy month following the new launch, which they attributed to me, but that was
Wow.
just an unbelievable change.
That is so exciting. That is
Yeah.
really exciting. I mean, you
Yeah.
overcame the name. Still, that's crazy. Now,
Yeah.
you in particular, these days, specialize in working with bold and sassy ladies, which is my kind of client. How does the personality of a brand influence the design process? And can you give like an example or so?
Yeah, basically, it just helps lean into the personality of the service provider. So it helps build that, like you were talking about authenticity before, it helps build the know, like, and trust that we need in order to attract people who will pay us money. So the design itself has to be representative of their personality on some level so that the people looking at the website will feel sort of related to, relatable to that service provider. And it just helps attract that kind of person.
Now, in terms of user experience, which I think, of course, is key in
Mhm.
website design, right? They have to
Yeah.
convert people. How do you ensure that a website not only looks fantastic and captures that person's personality, that brand's personality, but also provides an intuitive and enjoyable experience that drives conversions? Big
Actually,
tall
I give
order.
yeah, it's a huge order. I actually give my clients a lot of homework leading up to the project, and that homework will literally guide them through what kind of content to give me so that I have a good foundation. And then I take that content and organize it, create a strategy for it based on their specific business model. And I use a lot of custom code and design plugins to create an engaging experience for them in the
Yeah, I
process.
saw a lot of really cool things, like, almost looks movie-esque as I'm going from page to page, and all I could think was, "Does that slow down the website?" And clearly it doesn't or you wouldn't do it.
It can if you're not careful, but if you know what
Yes.
you're doing, you can optimize it along the way. Yeah.
For sure. For someone who doesn't have a budget to hire an expert, what DIY tips can you offer someone looking to revamp their website? Like, what are the key elements that, or essentials maybe, that you believe every effective, engaging website should have?
That's a good question. Clear and concise information. One of the things that I battle most frequently is chunking things out, making things bite sized and skimmable.
I am horrible at that, but I am a notorious skimmer. I legitimately don't read everything, to my detriment at times. So I'm a skimmer, and but when I write something or try to update my website, I go way too long. Like, who cares is my question sometimes when I read it.
Well, often the balance needs to be give them the information, but organize it and structure it in a way that if you want the information, it's there, but it's not in your face there. Like hide it in accordions, make it bulleted, like numbered lists, extra headings, like piece it out so that you can skim through it a little bit easier. If you're going to bypass it anyway, it'll be easier to bypass it. And if you're going to read it, it'll be better for you to find it because it's organized.
Brilliant. I definitely need to talk to you because I'm merging both of my businesses. I have photography, and I'm going from wedding and branding to just branding photography and videography. And then I have my marketing agency, and I'm merging them into one website, which is not easy. And of
No,
course, I have a
actually,
big personality. So I want someone that's able to like capture that. So you and I definitely need to talk. What about some tips for the homepage in particular? Because I know that you can have, pages galore for whatever somebody wants to find out more information of, but any tips for people on that homepage so that I don't know what the word is for website verbiage, but to be able to get them to take action, right? It's that sort of journey they take on your website to take action. So you deliver just enough to pique their interest, but you want to have, like, I'm assuming a button somewhere above the fold or something like that. So, any tips that you can share in that area?
yeah, the easiest way to think about it is to get out a piece of paper and a pen and do like a flow chart, a decision tree, and figure out like what's your ultimate goal and put that at the top. And then branch off of that and figure out what has to happen in order to get people to that ultimate goal. Do they land on your about page? Do they land on your contact page? Do they land on our services page? And then when you figure that out, you can go to those pages and put those buttons and you know exactly where to send the person. Your homepage is specifically designed to be sort of a signpost, and it's supposed to be able to send people to all the places on your website that are most relevant for them. That's kind of its duty. So if
Which
you
is
can,
not easy. And so many people, including myself, don't do a very good job at it.
no, it's very hard, especially if you have multiple facets to your business. Like even me, I have digital templates and I have services and I will soon have products. And it's hard to sometimes split that up. Or if you're not quite sure what services to offer, maybe you have too many and you need to whittle it down. Like there's too many options. You don't know where to send people. If you are confused, your audience is confused.
Yeah, for sure. One thing that you do really well. So, just full disclosure, I met Katelyn in Jessica's education for what I'll put the link below, of course, but for YouTube videos. And so, one thing I noticed that you do incredibly well, and I have started doing it, but I love your design. Like, everyone needs to go look at her website, first of all. But you include a video, like, almost on every single blog post. In fact, I think your YouTube cover is really that cover image for the
Yeah.
blog, which is brilliant. I personally use a Pinterest pin because my focus is Pinterest, but I still have put videos on my blogs. How does that help someone in terms of, our website, just like Pinterest, is a search marketing platform, right? It's not social media and it takes time. But how can adding video to your website really help to get seen more?
That's a great question. It's what I found when I started doing it and I started doing it because I heard people asking for it. They were like, a video would be really helpful for this very long tutorial. And I was like, fine, okay. So
Exactly.
when
So
I,
much easier to, in my opinion, to watch and listen than to actually read.
yes, it often is. There aren't that I'm a reader myself, but most people aren't.
Mm-mm.
So, I started doing the videos in addition to the tutorials I was already doing. Now, I actually do it in reverse. I film the video first. I used a script to transcribe the video for me, and now with their AI features, I use them to summarize or order add chapters to it. And then I edit the transcription to make sure that it's followable on its own for the people who are not video people.
Yeah, it really, I believe it because I've noticed an increase in the blogs that have them in terms of
Yes.
traffic because you get seen in the video version of the search on Google. And then also it's like more information. I feel like my traffic has increased. Would you agree?
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
I've gotten within the first 2 to 3 months of doing one video every week, I got my first paying client from YouTube with less than 500 subscribers at that time. And that was
Amazing.
a
So
big project.
I have less than 500 and I've been working for the past month now to like get really good at my videos and get really good at thumbnails and all the things. Although I love your thumbnails, I might be using them for inspiration for my own.
Go for
But
it.
um I have my first discovery call. It's amazing if you just set up a discovery call in YouTube that people actually use it. I mean, go
Mhm.
figure. It's kind of exciting.
Yes. I was shocked that it worked that fast, to be perfectly honest.
I know. It is amazing. And of course, we'll have her YouTube link and everything down below. So, what three things have helped you grow your business? And this could be tools, advice, really anything. What three things would you say helped you to grow your business?
Finding a mentor to learn from in some capacity, whether it's a course or a membership or just following their blog posts, somebody that is just one or two steps ahead of you so it doesn't feel like it's unachievable. That was big for me. Also, taking the emotion out of the situation so that you have the logic to analyze your data and see what's actually wrong because
Oh,
it's usually not a failure of us. Like, all people are not experts right out of the gate on anything. So, in order to get there, you have to learn from your mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes.
yeah,
So,
and you're going to change things up all the time. Like that's okay too,
yes.
right? If you somebody once said and I don't remember who it was, but if you improve by 1% every day, it doesn't feel like big huge moves, but over
Mhm.
time it's amazing results.
Yeah, I like the phrase, if you walk in the same direction every day, eventually you reach the ocean. And that's really true from no matter where you start.
Exactly. And what would you
Yeah.
say is your third?
To not do the 57 things marketing strategy. So the do all the things, be everywhere all the time, kind of you just burn yourself out that way. What I
And
found
yeah,
worked
and
best for me,
consistency is key. So you literally cannot keep it up.
you
Believe
can't
me,
burn
I've
out
tried
because then you're not.
multiple times.
Yes, me too. At the beginning, I probably did the 57 things. And what I found was I wasn't good at any of them. But when I narrowed it down to just one or two and I went all in on the one or two, that's when I was able to basically blog my way to thousands of page views every month.
Well,
And that
and
was
that
before
reminds me
YouTube.
too of another question before we get into everything else that I was going to chat about. You are someone who is not super on board with the whole social media thing because as we both know, search marketing is 100 times better and long lasting over years. That's why Pinterest and YouTube are like my two main content marketing hubs. Tell me a little bit about how you decided to do that when everyone's on social media.
Yeah, I definitely felt the pull at the beginning. I had a Facebook. I have a Facebook profile, a Twitter or X, whatever we're calling it now, profile, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. I can't remember all of them. I have those accounts, but a couple of years ago, I decided in order to have the time to do this YouTube thing, to blog better and more consistently, I needed to cut out the noise. And for me, that was the things that I personally did not find joy in doing. I didn't want to be there. And I feel like that ties back to that authenticity thing. If you don't want to be doing it, people can feel that when they're watching you or reading you or following you. And so I just stopped doing the things, and I was finally had time to breathe when when I cut out the
And
noise.
dive in and do really well on
Yeah.
YouTube and blogging, which again, over time for years will send traffic to your account.
Yeah, some of my most popular posts are still posts that I posted in 2017 or so, which is
I,
about the
I
time when
always
I
tell
switched brands.
people some of my like top 10 pins on Pinterest on my photography side is photos from like 6 and 7 years ago, which makes me want to vomit. But but guess what? I still book clients and they're
Mhm.
so happy with my current work. So it's like whatever works. And that's
Yeah,
years. I pinned it once and it's still bringing in people. It's
yeah,
insane. So
yeah.
I love that. And I definitely wanted to touch on that. Before we get to the gift that you are sharing with our audience, tell everyone about the services that you provide in case anyone's been listening and thinks, oh my gosh, like myself, I need Katelyn's help. Tell us what you offer.
I work with clients one-on-one for from scratch websites specifically on Squarespace. That's what I niched to. So I do that for custom work. I also love to fix problems. So I also do a lot of design days or day rates for people. So if they have an existing site they just want to spruce up, I also do that. I also do one-to-one strategy sessions for like just picking my brain for an hour. And I also have a club membership style where they can join as either a free or paying member with different availability to me, basically. And that has been my favorite thing to do for the past 6 months.
That's awesome. You'll get her websites below and you can access all of that. Tell everyone what your freebie is, what you're giving to the audience and how it can help them.
I have a 2-week free trial to the club. If you want to try it, test it out. There's a Q&A and all of that. I also have a discount code that I will share for the shop for Black Friday or holiday season, because there's going to be some new things coming to the shop soon, including
Okay.
content guides for your website.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Katelyn, for your valuable advice and your time because time is money. So I appreciate you coming on today. If any of you listening or watching found some ideas and tips that you can implement in your business, we would love for you to leave a review. Reviews are the lifeblood of our podcast, so we would really appreciate it. Now go out there and do something good for your business, like snagging Katelyn's gift but then taking action. Put some time on your calendar to assess your website, do all the things, whatever it is. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.